Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's Bbnaija reunion show, a lot of things were said, a whole lot of things were said. In fact, it lasted for 1 hour, and apparently that's what we're going to be seeing for the next 8 days or 7 days. They've already done one, that's today. We have 7 more days to go for this reunion. I still keep asking, what are they reuniting? Because I don't see what we are watching for another 7 days. But yeah, I'm just here to give you guys an update of what happened today. Today was mainly about Seyi and Tacha. But before we go ahead, don't forget to like, subscribe if you're new to this channel, turn on your post notifications so you can get notified each time I post a video. And yeah, that's basically it, all the good stuff. Seyi and Tacha. So before I go into details about what happened today, let me just give you a background story of these two people and how their issue started. It mainly started with Tacha. The day that Seyi went into the room, I think he was calling her name or shouting her name and she was sleeping or something like that. And then he later went to the kitchen. I don't know if he knew that she was sleeping and then he still went to the room and then maybe called her name and stuff. But I shall know that she was sleeping and then he went to the room, called her name. So later on, he was in the kitchen. She came out and was literally screaming on top of her voice that he shouldn't try that. Why would he do that? Blah blah blah. She was just screaming and shouting and like scolding him like a 12-year-old child, basically. So I think that is what set Seyi off. Well, that was the first thing. That was the first trigger for Seyi. He did not expect it. He didn't see it coming. You know, when you see somebody like your friend and you feel like, oh, the way this person is treating other people, the person is not going to treat me like that. So I think that's the mindset Seyi had, and then Tacha proved him wrong and then treated him the way that she had been treating some of the other housemates. So Seyi being Seyi, he took the matter, and then all the reactions he gave afterwards were just completely negative. He said a lot of negative things about her in the house. He gossiped about her in the house. He said so many things, but I feel like that was the trigger. At the same time, I feel like he overreacted to the situation, or he didn't quite address the situation well. Although he called for a meeting between both of them, like for them to talk, and they were just going back and forth. Nobody wanted to apologize. From talk or small talk, it just turned to something that was out of proportion. The talk basically went out of proportion. They insulted each other and they went their separate ways. That was the scenario where he called her the word puta. So that is how their whole matter happened. Another thing that also triggered Seyi was when Ebuka asked Tacha about Seyi, and she was like, what I've achieved in my 23 years on in this earth or in this life, Seyi has not achieved it. So that's another thing that was off-putting for him. But I know that there were a lot of things that she said in the house about Tacha, behind her back, in her front, in her side, everything. He also said that he was going to make them disqualify her because she had her second strike. So it was almost like he was trying to push her to react so that they are going to disqualify her. So they both had their issues. That is for the house. So now, coming out of the house, today's reunion was basically about them, but we didn't start with them. Ibuka started by asking Ike about his issues with Joe, and Ike was like that the way Joe came into the house, that he just saw Joe as somebody that just came in to come and prove that he's very intelligent. He had this courage that was kind of off-putting for him. That's Ike. So he did not like Joe at all. That Joe used to even irritates him, and Joe was like, wow, irritates. That's a strong word. So for Ike, the issue he had with Joe was mainly it mainly had to do with Mercy. Joe had a way of like pushing buttons. Joe just had a way of pushing buttons. So that was off-putting for Seyi. That was off-putting for Ike. So Benita came into the talk here and was like, this same Ike that is complaining about Joe was the person that was using Joe to poke others. Because when Joe came into the house, I think he had a relationship with Ike. So Ike was trying to use him to like poke others and push others to like annoy other people. Then after Joe finished doing his bidding with other people, he now came to him. That he now came to annoy him, came to poke him, he came to tempt him to like get angry and stuff. So the way he was using Joe for others, Joe now used that same attitude on him, and he became angry, or he started disliking Joe, and he carried it on from then till now, because he said that he still doesn't really, like, he's still carrying it in mind, and it's hard for him to let it go. It's hard for him to let such things go. And I don't even think it was that serious. He said Joe made some statement that made him feel like, oh, this one is trying to act like he's all smart and stuff. Then Joe also had something to do with Mercy. Like, they were close in the house when Joe came in. They were kind of close in the house, and I felt like Ike did not like it at all. So Joe said that a lot of that had to do with Mercy. Mercy was the one putting fire in the situations. So they had their moments, and after they would talk, they would gist and everything. Mercy will now go and tell Ike that, you are here, oh, all these guys are looking at me, or even Joe and stuff. Like, people are admiring her, people are looking towards her side, even Joe. You know how Mercy used to do sometimes just to make Ike jealous. And he got to Ike, and he was not carrying out that anger on Joe. And from then on till now, he just bottled it up, and he did not like it. So apparently after the house, they didn't have conversations. Like, they've not really talked. So he said that now that he's talking about it, he feels better talking about it now, knowing fully well that, okay, Joe doesn't have an issue with him, because he felt like Joe had an issue with him. That's why he too held on to what he had with Joe. So they kind of sorted out their issue. I don't think their issue was that deep. Sometimes some guys know how to come together and sort out issues. So they just talked about it, and I feel like after today they will be good. This was when they went over to Seyi and Tacha. So they started by asking Tacha what happened between her and Seyi, or their whole matter. They talked about them before in an episode, and I don't know why they did not conclude it in that episode. They had to bring it back. Like, I don't understand why they keep recycling things. Very soon now they will bring back all the issues that they've talked about before, because I'm seeing that the episode that they're showing us, the next one, is going to have to do with Elizabeth and Diane. Like, we are done with them, we have passed them, we don't want to know more about them. So yeah, but their own matter today was very, very, very long, and I had to note down a few things. In fact, not a few things, a lot of things about their back and forth. One thing I would like to say is that these two people are so proud. That is one character that they have in common. Like, they're just the same when it comes to being proud, not being willing to apologize, not accepting fault. Both of them are the same. So you can imagine what would have gone down today. It was deep. So Tacha started by saying that she doesn't think that Seyi understands the true meaning of friendship. That when you have a friend, regardless of the fact that the person might have, their bad sides and stuff, you also have to look at the good sides, whether it outweighs the bad sides or whether the bad sides outweigh the good sides. So for Seyi, she said that she doesn't think that he understood that, or maybe he was looking too much at maybe her bad side and wasn't looking at the fact that this lady has a positive side, basically, that he doesn't understand the true meaning of friendship. So this was the part where Seyi now came in and said that, oh, when you're saying that what you achieved at 23, I've not achieved it my whole life, is that what you expect to be friendship? Like, if you're not respecting somebody, you expect me to respect you and all of that. So she said that she felt like she needed to state facts, that when you've been through a lot at a certain age, like the fact that she has had to be there, or she had to be there for her family members, not just financially but also emotionally, and that she didn't have a mother figure in her life. And then the thing with fathers is that they are mostly there financially, that they might not be so there emotionally. That for her, she didn't really have a mother figure, and she didn't really have anybody to talk to most of the time. So that's that for her. She felt like she had gone through a lot at that age. So that's what made her to, state facts. Although I personally didn't see how that related to the issue at hand. Like, being in a particular situation doesn't mean that you're going to rub it off on the next person the wrong way, or want to make the next person feel less of a person, or just like, it didn't really have anything to do with her saying achievements. Like, you don't know what the other person has been through, basically. So you can't really say that, okay, that is an achievement that you've achieved at 23, that somebody that is at the age of whatever has not achieved. That particular statement, I don't feel like there's any excuse for it. I don't feel like anybody should say that to another person, personally. Like, you don't really know what the other person has been through. You don't even know what the person has achieved. I'll speak rubbish. The person has achieved. And at that point in time, they were still in the house. They had not even come out to really know each other and know, okay, what they've been through or what they've achieved on their own individual basis. Like, she was just saying things. I feel like she was saying that to just make him feel bad. But the fact that she keeps saying it to this point, saying, no, this is fact, this is fact, this is fact, it's just off-putting for me personally. Then she now mentioned that the only person that she trusted with her life in the house was Seyi. And I noticed that because their friendship was kind of like really cool and genuine. So the only person she trusted with her life was Seyi. Then I think Gabriel kind of asked her whether she felt disrespected at any point by Seyi, and she was like, Seyi did not exactly disrespect her at any point, but until he now started being sexist and like referring to her characters. Like there was a time they had a discussion and he was like, oh, you're beautiful and this and that, but this character of yours da 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 da. So she was like, he was just more, it was always referring to her physical attributes without pointing out her achievements. Like he was just about the physical look of like herself. He was just about her physical look. Like he wasn't really pointing out her achievements and stuff when he's referring to her. That's the only part she felt like he was being sexist. And this was the point where he also called her the word puta. She was completely wrong for that. Like I don't ever support anybody using such words on somebody, just like using the N-word as a white person, using the N-word on a black person. Like there are some words that are just unaccepted, and that is one of it. You don't call somebody such. Like I can't even explain the word here. You can Google the word. I feel like there are some words that you don't just use. Like even if you guys are insulting each other, everything you're saying, everything, like I'm telling you you're stupid, you're mad, you're crazy, and you're telling me to you're mad, you're stupid, you're crazy, and then you now switch it up and now start maybe body shaming me, or like there's some things that you don't just do. You should apologize for that particular one that you said. So there's some things that you don't exactly use to refer to somebody, like except maybe that's what the person is. Like if somebody is a prostitute, even when somebody is a prostitute, I don't really feel like they they like being called that. Even if they are proud of this thing, maybe they want to be the ones to call themselves that, not you calling them that. Just the way we have black people say nigga all over the place, but as a white person you can't call them that. Do you understand? There's some words that are not allowed, and that is one of it. Then it was now time for Seyi to speak up, and he said that he did not betray the friendship, that he didn't feel like he betrayed the friendship, that the whole friendship started from the secret room. I remember this vividly. Like the secret room is what bonded them together. I did not think that they were going to be close, and then after the secret room, the closeness just came, and I was like, it's like this is a recipe for bringing people close to each other. Like just get a secret room and just put people together, they will definitely be close, especially in a place like Big Brother. So the secret room brought them close to each other, according to Seyi. And then when they came out, they kind of switched personalities. Like most of the housemates there were referring to Seyi as like he's now the vile one, he's now the one that's been aggressive. Then Tacha had calmed down in her character after the secret room, and that's what got them close. That he felt like, when it comes to this idea of friendship, or he felt like with the things that Tacha had told him in the secret room, he felt like, okay, he was willing to be a friend to Tacha, but at the same time he wasn't willing to be disrespected. Like he didn't want to be that person that you now come and be insulting anyhow. That he just took it that Tacha needed a friend based on the things she had told him in the secret room, like okay, maybe betrayal from friends and everything. So he felt like, okay, if he stands in as a friend to this person, he feels like probably the person will see things differently. You know that there's somebody you can talk to, somebody that's there for you. But she did not see the need to respect him as much as he was respecting her. And personally, I feel like she takes this whole respecting very, very serious. And her coming out to scold him like a baby, like a 12-year-old child that day, was a complete turn off for him. So for him too, that was where the whole thing started. So he just took it that, oh, if I decide to be close to this person, I can be a shoulder to cry on, I can be that person for you. Then when you're trying to stand in as a friend for somebody that you feel like has gone through a lot, and the person now turns it back and starts insulting you or belittling you some way or the other, it's usually a trigger. So that was what Tacha did to him, that he didn't like. He said that if you've gone through certain things, you shouldn't use that to treat other people. Like that is basically what I think. If you've been in a position, like For example, now you were in a school and you were bullied by certain children and you felt really bad. You've been in that position of being bullied. You should not become the bully. It doesn't make any sense at all. Like, there's no excuse for that. You can't come out tomorrow and be saying that, oh, I was really bullied in school, so that's why I'm now very arrogant, I'm now a bully. Like, it doesn't make any sense because you've been there, you've been in that position. The only logical thing to do is to try to make sure that somebody else doesn't feel the way you felt, because you know how it was and you know how it can transform people. So if you now act that way to other people, the way you were treated, it doesn't make any logical sense at all. So I think that's the point he was trying to make, and I share that same thoughts. Like, I feel like a lot of things that she does is as a result of things that she has faced in the past, but she's not directing the energy the right way. Probably, maybe sometime in the future it'll be different, but in the house, I didn't see her directing the energy the right way. Right now, she seems to be really, really on a cool space. She has been really, really cool throughout this reunion. She has been calm and everything. So I feel like that change has already started to occur, or we are seeing something different. But yeah, on a general note, you shouldn't treat other people the way you were treated. So this was the part where Seyi decided to give his own special definition of the word. I don't know if saying this word on my channel a lot is even going to get me like some form of YouTube copyright guidelines or community guideline strike, whatever it is. I don't know. Maybe I'll stop saying it. But this was when Seyi was trying to describe the word. He said it means a Spanish word for female dog or what. I don't even know. He was trying to just like twist the word around, or maybe that's how he saw the word, or that's what he felt it was. But it was a bad word. He acknowledged that it was a bad word, and he used it just the same way he used a bad word at fraud and at Thelma. So basically, he acknowledges that it's a bad word, but he didn't quite define it very well. It really means what other people say it means. It doesn't mean what you are trying to make it mean. So he said it was a bad word, and this was the point where they were just doing their back and forth. Nobody wanted to acknowledge anything. This one says this person's fault, that one says the other person's fault, that one says because you did this that I did this. So at this point, Seyi did not apologize for what he said. In fact, they were still going back and forth, and Seyi had not tendered any apology. He was still trying to prove himself. He was of the opinion that generally he knows that he's supposed to apologize, but when the other person is not acknowledging their fault, then it seems meaningless basically. So he too was being defensive. Then Tacha now dropped the bombshell when she was trying to explain herself at the point. She was like, she has never used any insultive word at anybody, that she will never insult anybody, she has never insulted anybody. All the housemates were shocked. The way that expression you saw on my face now, that was the expression that some of them had. They were like, no, I don't agree. Even because I was asking like, do you agree? They were like, no, they don't agree. Nobody ever agrees. Like, even if you're a Tacha fan, do you really agree to that? Would you really say that that's the truth? Like, really, that was obviously not true, and I was shocked to hear that. Like, she legit insulted Mike, legit insulted Mercy, even though they were having a fight. But yeah, that's an insult. You can't say you didn't use any insulting word at anybody, even if you guys are insulting each other. But you also did your own part of the insult, and she basically had a fight with almost everyone in the house. So that particular statement was the direct opposite. Then she now went on to say that, have I changed from who I used to be? Like, the way I'm expressing myself now, not being insultive. That's the part I understand. Yes, now you're different, but it doesn't mean that you're going to automatically erase what happened before. It's all about acknowledging that this is who you were before. Okay, I used to be very insultive. This is what I used to do. Then now I acknowledge that this is what I did. Not that I never did it and this is how I am now. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So Ebuka went on to Seyi to ask him about the issue. He was like, he's sure Seyi has talked to them about it at some point, maybe spoken to Tacha and also spoken to Seyi. And Seyi was like, to be honest, he hasn't spoken to any of them about it. But the truth is that the reason this is happening now is because they both cared about each other. That if they did not care about each other so much in the house, then the issue that they are bringing up now will not be this big, it will not be this deep. But the problem that they both have is that they are both egoistic, and that was like the complete truth. In fact, I felt like going into the TV and just clapping for Seyi at that point. Like, he spoke he just spoke the absolute truth, that they were not speaking to listen to each other. They were just trying to be very defensive. That's what Seyi said. That if they didn't care this much about each other, then it won't be much of a big deal. Like, if you don't care about somebody, you will, like, what they say won't get to you that much. Like, what somebody that's close to you says will get to you more than what somebody that you don't know says. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say. If somebody that's your friend does something to you, it will hurt you more. Somebody that you don't know doesn't have so much power over your emotions. So the fact that these things, they took it this deep, this personal, then that means they really cared about each other in the house. But Joe was of the opposite opinion. He was like, they did not really care about each other, that they were not really friends. Like, if they were really friends, then they would have moved past this issue. But I agree more with what Seyi was saying, that they were just being proud. And I like the fact that Seyi was being very objective. Like, kudos to you, guy. Then this was the point where Seyi was like, oh, okay, since you people are saying let me apologize, I'm going to apologize now. Since everybody is coming at him like, oh, everybody will feel like, oh, he's supposed to be the man in this situation and apologize, he's going to apologize. And Tacha was like, you don't apologize because of what people will say. If I want to apologize to somebody for something, like, she was now using Venita as an example, that if she wants to apologize to Venita, that she will apologize to Venita because she wants to, not because people will say, oh, she's the woman and all of that, and she needs to apologize. So if Seyi wants to apologize, it should be genuine. Then this was the point where Tacha now was now praising Venita, that, oh, Venita is the ish, that she really respects her for coming into the house, having a big platform and still coming into the house, that she has been watching Venita on TV right from when she was in school, blah, 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 blah. That the fact that she still came into the house and, didn't see the reason, or she didn't use it as an opportunity to oppress people and stuff. So Ebuka was now like, is that a note to self? Like, is she like trying to tell herself something? Because that's what people perceive about Tacha. Like, the fact that she had a huge following outside the house and she on her own was using it to oppress others. That she trying to like talk to herself about the matter. So that part was kind of funny because she just referred back to what she was saying, like, oh, okay, you also had a big platform and you came into the house and you're using it to oppress others. Are you trying to tell yourself something? So this was where Ibuka just cut in shot. She was like, can't remember what she said there. Then she now talked about the fact that he sent her a message on her birthday. Then there was something else that he said he did, that had to do with Tacha. Then he just sent her a message on her birthday like, oh, where's the party at? And she didn't respond. That maybe it was her social media handler that was handling this thing that did not respond. But she didn't respond, and the next thing he saw, a party was happening, that he felt like that would have been the perfect opportunity to just shut people up. Because when you come out of the house, fans feel like they have the right to tell you how to behave or how to be. They're always pushing their opinions towards you guys, and he just felt like that would be the perfect opportunity to like shut the fans up. So I don't know why she didn't respond, but I know that there was also a time where Tacha tried to greet him when they just came out of the house at the multi-choice event or something like that, and he didn't respond. So they've not really been straightforward with each other outside the house. So this is where Seyi now decided to tender his honest apology. For me, I felt like it was kind of honest because they had gone back and forth enough, and maybe at this point he was acknowledging that he had been too proud about the situation, because he also said that pride had gotten the best of him. When Seyi was saying it about them being just proud, he accepted it, that, oh yeah, maybe I've been all proud and shit. So at this point, he now decided to apologize, and I was like, he's honestly sorry for using such words at her at that point in time to define her, that he's sorry, blah 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 blah. And she was like, accepted, so basically let's assume that they moved on from that, and we are not going to see them again talking about this issue on our screens. Ebuka, if you bring this matter back to our screen, I will not find it funny with you. Then they now moved on to Venita. Venita was like, she appreciates the fact that Tacha rendered an apology to her, that what happened in the house was really hurtful. Venita cried. basically she was teary about the fact that Tacha referred to her child. According to her, she said that what she heard when she got out of the house really touched her. That Tacha mentioned, or Tacha said, that Benita needed to leave, that she should go and take care of her kids. So according to Benita, she felt like that was really hurtful because she already has a lot to do with the fact that she's divorced, she's a single mother, has to take care of children, and then anybody referring to that situation would really hurt her, especially somebody that she knows. So when she saw the clip, that it really got to her, like it really got to her. So the fact that Tacha rendered an apology that day, because when Tacha was praising Benita, praising her, she was like, if she's to apologize to anybody, to be Benita. So Benita was trying to just appreciate the fact that Tacha acknowledged her wrong and was trying to apologize to her. Then Tacha at this point was like, when is she talking about that? More like she can't remember saying such about Benita's children or referring to Benita in that way. That she remembers saying that, yeah, Benita had to go because she was just all over the place and stuff. But she can't remember referring to Benita and children. So Benita was trying to remind her. She was like, she wasn't in a lot of conversations in the house, so any conversation that she had, she can remember it vividly. So Benita now told that even on that, in that reunion, that she said it there, she also said it again. So it's something that happened. It was not just on all in her head, that's Benita's head. And she was like, she can't really remember that, but that if at any point in time Benita felt a certain kind of way about it, or maybe she said anything that got to her, that she's sorry, she just apologized, and everybody was now clapping like, oh, that has apologized, so it just ended in a happy way, sha. So it was cool. Everybody seemed to be in a happy place to an extent. Whatever is left, any other person that's still carrying anything in their head, it concerns them, they should carry it to their houses and go and sleep with it. But today pretty much ended in a cool way, and hopefully they're not going to bring back these people's issues again. And yes, I can't wait for the new set of people to come in. If you're still here to this point, please do well to like this video, turn on your post notifications so that you can get notified each time I post a video. Drop a comment, and I'm going to see you in my next video. Bye, love you.